That's what we're talking about right here in downtown, what is it? Oh, I know, Center for Spiritual Living, Visalia, California. For those of you who aren't here, you are missing it. Believe me. We just took the roof off the building, and welcome to everyone, whether you're here or you're out in cyberspace. I am Reverend Nan Bankston. I'm the senior minister here, and we just rocked the house with amazing grace. So, it's my pleasure to welcome you. Is there anybody here for the first time? No? All righty. Then I am going to introduce Donna for our announcements.
Good morning. That was fun, wasn't it?
Boy, howdy.
Let's go to our announcements. We've got a bunch this morning. So today is a board meeting. So people are always welcome to come, listen, see what's going on, see how we're financing this place and all the other things that are starting to come back now. So it's today at 12 noon right here, or you can come in on Zoom. It is on the website if you want to come in on Zoom. It's not on it. Okay, the next one is coming, but not yet.
The board meeting's really exciting.
No. The next one, if I could remember what it was, I'd start talking. No, that's the wrong. There we go! Hooray! Okay, so Explorers is our cutting-edge scholarship on the history of evolution and the Christian tradition. It's fascinating discussions, and it's next week. The topic is what you probably don't know about the same-sex relationship debate in churches. So this was based on a discussion that Evelyn and some people listened to. And it's going to be talking about what evangelicals are debating about in the same-sex relations. So we'll be here next Sunday, 1 o'clock. Again, you can do it on Zoom. It's on the website. We do have someone coming in from Oregon or someplace who's just interested in the topic, so that's great. So we hope to see some more of you. We have a small group. We'd love to see more of you come in. So Kathy Moore was our practitioner for many, many years. We lost her last year. But the board decided to create a scholarship in her name for people who are working to become a practitioner or are people who are taking classes that are, what's the term? Certificated classes and have problem with the finances. So that fund is available. If you want to take a class, we don't want anybody not to take a class because of finances. We also need people to donate to that fund, so we'll have the fund available. So if you want to do that, you can do that probably with Reverend Nan, either way.
Or on the website.
On the website?
Yeah.
So they wanted me to talk about our fundraising committee. They don't want to call it fundraising, even though that's what it is. We're raising fund here. You can tell that already. We didn't have any fundraising last year. We couldn't. So now we have to really get on it because that's a definite part of our budget is fundraising activities. So anybody who is willing to participate, have an idea, help put on the event. Gwen isn't here today, but Gwen is the person to talk to. Call her, email her, or talk to any of us if you're interested in being it, because we got to get on it right now. We wanted to also talk about a little bit some wonderful things that are on our website, and one of the pages is diversity inclusivity page, and this I listened to this yesterday. Systemic racism explained in 4 minutes. It's great, and Anne has been really putting a lot of different things on this page. We have a lot of good pages, so if you haven't looked at our website, check it out and watch this video. It really explains real quickly, 4 minutes, what we're all about and what we haven't realized, a lot of us. And Death Cafe. Lori Kathleen is here, and she's going to start up her Death Cafe again. It's going to be on the fourth Thursday of every month. If you don't quite know what Death Cafe is, it's a wonderful just meeting of minds, people who have some grief or have some questions. It's a fun time. You have cake and something to drink, and you just talk. And it can be whatever it turns out to be. So the first one is Thursday, July 22nd, from 5 to 7 right here. And Kathleen really is here. Talk to her afterwards if you're sort of wondering what in the world this is. And I'm going to turn it over to our practitioner, Janice.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Walk. This is very exciting. Today I will read our global vision statement. And I think that this is really an interesting statement because not only does it allow us to have a wonderful life, but it gives everyone around us permission to have a wonderful life. So this is our global vision statement. We envision a world where every person discovers their own personal power and ability to create an individual world within a world that works for all. What a cool thing. So with this, I get to introduce Bonnie Carlia, who is, sorry about my walking, you guys, who is going to do our diversity quote. She is part of our diversity and inclusivity team, and we have been reading many things, watching many TED Talks, really becoming aware of what all of this means. Thank you.
Okay, I notice the mic is really loud, so I don't want to blow you all away. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Okay. And we have a nice graphic up there. Thanks to Donna. Thank you so much. Okay. The mind is a magnet, and we attract that with which we identify the self. In order to get the most out of life, we must learn consciously to change many of our habitual thought patterns. This is not easy, for our old thought patterns cling to us with great tenacity. But being thought patterns, they can be reversed. If you are filled with fear, refill yourself with faith, for faith always overcomes fear. Dr. Ernest Holmes. Thank you.
Okay, I think I will just say my prayer from here, since I'm a little on the wobbly side today. It was so exciting to start today's service with Amazing Grace, and they were walking around the room talking about how we were going to be clapping. And I thought, I don't think I've ever heard I've never heard Amazing Grace played in a way that we could be clapping. But I just want to give that as an introduction, because what I think that is saying to us is that we can live very spiritual lives, very connected to ourselves and to each other, and have a good time with it. So amazing concept, amazing concept. So thank you, and I would like just to take a moment of silence to start with our prayer. I realize that Spirit has created everything that I need to have a wonderful life. I know that that same Spirit has created everything that each person needs to become truly who they were meant to be. And I know that as I accept that truth about myself and about each and every human being on this planet, I am accepting the idea that we truly can become what we want to be, and at the same time not hurt other people by doing that, but by following Spirit's guidance within us, that this is truly possible. And I know that everything that happens today during our service moves us in that direction, moves every person who is here and everyone who is in technology, whether they are on whatever it is, that they are absolutely able to use this service to move themselves to a greater understanding of the love that and power that Spirit gives each and every one of us. So, so grateful to know this truth, to know that there is this power in the universe that each of us can use to create a life full of joy and abundance and love. And at the same time, that vibration moves and we allow others to do the same, and we are truly creating a world that works for all. I release my word to the creative law of thought, of mind, knowing that it has already been made manifest, and we say together, and so it is. Okay, after service, if I can get down from here, but my husband is here to help me, I will be in the practitioner room, and I would be happy to do a prayer with you. Also, we have a prayer box. You can see over there, there's a little box with a little vase with pencils in it, and right next to it is a box. And if you have a prayer, a prayer request, you will put it in that box, and I will pick it up, and we will pray for you this week. Reverend Nan, if she will do so also, and also Sharon. So it's a little bit different because we are not writing prayers anymore. So we will call you on the phone and do it that way if that's what you wish. If you don't want us to call you, know that we are doing your prayer without contacting you, just through that wonderful, wonderful vibration. So thank you.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, peace gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Yes. Oh, we have the most amazing music in this place. Look at this. We are full. We had to put out more chairs. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Oh, wait, that's a different church, but we've got it all going on. So,
That's across the street.
it's across the street, they tell me. So what do I just moved here. I'm still figuring it out. So I get a pass. Awesome. Well, good morning. Oh, we've got people out there in TV land that want to hear bigger. Good morning. All right, now we've got it going on. Boy, it is so wonderful to see everybody here. And for those of you who are viewing us on Facebook live stream or live on our YouTube channel, thanks for tuning in. I know that whether you are here in our sanctuary or through the wonder of technology, that you have places that you could be other than here with us, wherever you may be. And I just thank you for choosing to spend time with us. There are so many ways that we can spend our time, and this is one of the very best, to be in community and to feel that amazing grace when we gather together. So this month, our theme is Pulled by Vision in July. And my talk today is about our resistance to the call of Spirit on our life. So the talk title is, are you ready? Is your commitment greater than your resistance? Now, for those of you who are here or listening to the service wherever you may be, your commitment this Sunday was greater than your resistance to getting up out of bed and showing up somewhere else, and you came here for your spiritual vitamin time, or you're tuning in for your spiritual vitamin time. And that's what I like to consider this time when we get together. When we spend time together getting our spiritual supplements, whether we're in classes, whether we're at services, whether we're in any of our other consciousness expanding groups that we have here at the center, we're getting spiritual vitamins. So today is our Sunday vitamin time. And this is the time when we sing, we pray, we talk about important stuff, and it keeps our commitment to our spiritual growth strong and vibrant. Now, Janice read that statement from our Global Vision statement, that we envision a world where every person discovers their own personal power and ability to create an individual world that works within a world that works for all. When we come together for our spiritual vitamin time, we are discovering that power and ability and learning how to honor it in all of humanity, and we are recognizing that God is our source. We have committed to that time, and we're opening to receive spiritual information and support for our personal growth. And usually we've got some expectation that there's going to be a little tidbit or two that we take home for the week that will provide a greater building block for our commitment in pursuing the call of Spirit upon our life. Now, when I say those words, call of Spirit upon your life, what actually comes to your mind? Call of Spirit upon your life. Well, you know, we always say that ministers have had the experience of Spirit calling up their life to serve. And in fact, a minister's employment contract with a center is titled a letter of call because the center calls us to serve as a minister. And we also consider that our practitioners have had a call of Spirit to serve in that capacity as licensed prayer practitioners. And we have two amazing licensed practitioners here. And our board member, Scott, who's also up in our audio booth, he's in his first year of practitioner training. So as we go along, others may feel that call to take practitioner prerequisite classes and ultimately the 2-year program that leads to licensing. And we will be starting those programs here as we progress our educational programs locally. And you might be thinking, well, that's fine, but I haven't heard anything in my world about being a minister or being a practitioner, so I'm pretty sure I haven't had a call on my life. Well, here's today's good news. Every week you get good news, right? Everyone here, everyone out there, everyone everywhere in the world is called through the inspiration of Spirit within, expressing as each of us in our daily lives to show up in the way that is uniquely ours to do. The question isn't whether you've been called to be a spiritual being living a spiritual life. Rather, the question is, are you committed to the vision Spirit has for your life? And last month we talked about visions. We talked about living Spirit's greatest vision for our life. Now that commitment thing, that's kind of a funny thing. In fact, do you know what you call a fruit that's afraid of commitment? All right. It's a cantaloupe. It can't elope. I know, it's a bad joke. I know. But you know, we make jokes about commitment all the time. And commitment can carry with it ideas of being trapped in relationships or having to give up personal freedom or otherwise being restricted and binding us to agreements we later regret, etc., 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 as the king said in The King and I loved it when he said that. I still see Yul Brynner standing there saying, etc., etc., etc. So for today, we're going to talk about personal commitment to Spirit's vision for our life. When we allow our spirit, our life's highest vision of itself, to be known in our individualized human awareness, we open to completely new ideas, completely new experiences, just like being able to clap your hands to Amazing Grace. Who would have thought, right? We open to a direct experience of the mind of the infinite, which is our mind, and we forget that very important fact. The mind of God is within us, and we use it all the time. The variation of that utilization is based in our thoughts that may be bound in limitation by old beliefs or habits and ways of being that we've been taught, acquired, and absorbed along the way. And just remember, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And when enough people keep thinking it, well, then it becomes a cultural way of being. And heaven knows, we all had some of those as we were coming through the world after we got out of the mothers who brought us forth. And sometimes those cultural ways of being, those familial ways of being, and those thoughts and beliefs are some of our most limiting. Yet when we open to allow Spirit's highest vision of itself expressing as us, we have received a direct revelation. And just for clarity, a direct revelation is an impression directly from Spirit. Now, when we speak of psychics or mediums, their information comes from tapping the collective consciousness or memories of the human mind and human experience. And it's important to know in our teaching, we honor those who have those abilities to receive information from collective consciousness. However, it does not equate to or equal the direct interaction with Spirit that is available to each of us when we commune with that divine essence within through meditation, prayer, contemplation, or visioning, for example. When we have received a direct revelation, Spirit's vision for our life, let's say, through contemplation, the degree to which we embody oneness, the degree to which we embody wholeness, and the degree to which we embody that God itself is living its life in the form of us, well, that's the degree to which we allow life's vision to be made manifest through us and as us. Yet we don't often allow that manifestation, do we? So what's the holdup? What's the holdup? Well, most of the time we can trace it back to resistance. When our resistance becomes greater than our commitment to express as the spiritually magnificent beings that we are, it's oftentimes because we are stuck in old beliefs. And sometimes we don't even know that's the case. In fact, our old beliefs could be considered another form of unconscious bias, which is the tendency to have prejudice or unsupported judgments in favor of or against something as compared to something else in a way that is usually unfavorable. So our unconscious biases or old beliefs about the truth of our nature as spiritual beings often create the resistance that denies us the very commitment to spiritual growth that we long for and seek. Now, most of the time we talk about unconscious bias in terms of social injustice and discrimination and other things that people do to each other that are harmful. But our own comparative judgment based in old belief bias limits our ability to live a full and joyful life. We often think of Spirit's vision for life in a comparative mode, and we view it in the context of past events that maybe weren't so hot, but we thought they were going to be okay, or experiences in our life that were not too pleasant, or maybe they were wonderful, so we expect all of anything that we do to match that, and then we have some disappointment when it doesn't. This limits us, this comparative mode, limits us from stepping into an entirely new experience of possibility. And this is where our theme, Pulled by Vision, comes in. Now, there's an expression about wind currents that stall out at sea, that limit a sailboat's ability to move. The doldrums is a place in the water where the winds simply stop, and the sails have no breeze to catch and to shift the direction of the boat to any movement. So instead, it just sits there in the same spot, rocking to and fro, waiting for the breeze to lift the sails and create some movement. And we use the same expression for our emotional stuckness when we say we are in the doldrums, or we are just afloat in the same spot, not moving, with no wind to hoist our sails and move us along. And I am sure that at some point in each of our lives, each of us has experienced the doldrums. Without hesitation, I say that. I've had it. If I've had it, then everybody must have had it. Because there's only one of us here, right? Well, Spirit's, it's true. There's only one of us here. So Spirit's vision is the breeze that we desire. It pulls us. It invites us to move forward to a new place in our life, a new adventure. It invites us to crawl out of our comfort zone of the routine ruts of life and experience something new. A small example of that is something that you can do here on Sundays if you're in the sanctuary. Now, how many of you, after a year, more than a year, of being out of the same seat you occupied on Sundays for the entire duration of the time that you came here before the pandemic, came back and are now sitting in the exact same place that you were before the pandemic? Now, understand there's no judgment here. It's just something to observe about how ingrained habits and perpetual routine limit our life experience. We come, we sit next to the same people, we talk to the same folks after the service. Well, here's a place where you can be Spirit within you, pulling you to a new vision of interaction with all the divine expressions of life around you. All these individuated expressions of Spirit that are here, or anywhere in your life. It's a small way we can enjoy the transformation of allowing and embracing Spirit within us to invite us to a new perspective by shifting our seating arrangements. Now, for some of us, it might take a lot of prayer, and it might take a lot of contemplation to consider having the courage to change our seat and sit somewhere different. Let me ask you this. Do we always go to the store and expect the same parking spot to be there for us? Just waiting for our car to pull in? Well, I have had that experience just a few times, but not very many. So this is just something to ponder. And as you ponder this, I want you to consider Christopher Reeve's comment. Many of our dreams at first seem impossible, and then they seem improbable, and then they become inevitable. And given his life story as Superman, and then his ultimate experience as a quadriplegic for many years, who continued to live a full and inspirational life for so many, I think his dreams may have changed. But the unique expression of Spirit that was Christopher Reeve's was never deterred. He had faith that he could still live a meaningful life and share that with others. So my next question, I know I'm just full of questions today. Sorry. It's one of those question days. My next question is, how's your faith? How's your faith? Now, faith is the belief in the substance of things not seen, not a guaranteed replica of our mental prototype. Our metaphysical interpretation of substance is the unformed God stuff out of which everything is made. And there's a lot of God stuff all around us. All we have to do is take a look at the infinity of creative expression of Spirit that we see in the diversity of plants, animals, people, beach sand, for heaven's sakes, fish. I love to see tropical fish. They have little faces that I just love. And there's so many other infinite expressions of that creative substance. And it's there for us to use. Yet, oftentimes, we resist our desire to build our faith muscle. And Dr. Holmes said this about faith, and I just love it. He said, and this is from, for those of you who keep track, this is from Ideas of Power on page 30, paragraph 1. Now, I like to feel that faith is operated upon by a principle so that I won't have to feel I have to energize energy. Because if I had to energize energy, I wouldn't know where I would get the energy with which to energize the energy. And then he goes on to say, this is one of the secrets of Jesus, non-resistance. Now think about that. If we had to energize energy, we would all likely be in the doldrums, inert and waiting for the breeze to lift our sails, don't you think? But instead, we can rely on the knowledge that God is our source, just like we sang a few minutes ago. We can depend on the spiritual principles that build our faith muscles, our faith muscles. Oh, every time we remember who we are, who we really are. Every time we allow ourselves to be pulled by Spirit's vision to answer that call to a new idea, a new thought, a new way to approach a life challenge, we're building our spiritual faith muscles. It's just that easy. All you have to do is say yes. Every time we meditate, contemplate, or offer spiritual mind treatment for ourselves or others, we build our faith muscles. And our faith is the breeze, or the breath of Spirit, that is the life force in and around us that moves us out of that neutral zone or the kingdom of doldrums and blah. Sometimes we allow ourselves, as Abraham Hicks said, to wait until momentum is well underway before we are aware that we are moving in a direction we don't want to go. And sometimes the momentum is too strong. And so that negative momentum just has to play itself out. But what we really need to know is that nothing ever really goes wrong. That we can't get it wrong, and we never get it done. And the reason that we can't get it wrong is because it's never done. There's always another opportunity to direct your thoughts and accomplish momentum in the direction of things you do want. And that, in a different way of saying it, is one of our great spiritual principles in religious science. We are always free to choose another opportunity from the field of all possibilities. Can you even wrap your mind around that? The field of all possibilities? I have a hard time with that sometimes myself. More often than not, even. All possibilities. Well, that's enough to stir a breeze in every soul, I think. So I invite you to commit to exercising your faith muscles this week. Be an observer and consider just how God shows up as you in your life expression. What is Spirit's call upon your life that is unique and can only be manifested by you, through you, as you, that really is you? Stay open to that call. Stay open to where God shows up. Keep flexing your faith muscle, and your commitment will grow ever so stronger. And so it is. And so, as is our custom, let's have a prayer to seal those thoughts. So as we come together in this peaceful moment, in this presence of the one infinite loving Spirit that I call God, doesn't matter what we call it. We can call it Shirley or Walter, and it doesn't matter. We can call it Buddha. We can call it all that is. We can call it God Goddess. Doesn't matter. It is all that is. It is all that I am. It is all that everyone here is. It is all that all creation is. And I know that we are connected in, through, and as that one infinite loving mind, that divine intelligence. And as that divine intelligence moves in and through each of us, I offer this prayer of oneness, of love, of a wholeness that extends to all of the areas in our planet, that brings up the light and the healing that is so imminently needed at this time. I speak a word of breeze to cool heat. I speak a word of rain to cool drought. I speak a word of healing, the revealing of truth and wellness and wholeness in each individual suffering from an illness. And I honor those who serve to create peace, whose lives are dedicated to the greater good of all mankind. And in every way, each and every being here in the sound of my voice and beyond is that infinite loving spirit in their own life, doing those magnificent things as a magnificent spiritual being that they already are. And I recognize and affirm that for each and every being. And so I know that humanity is blessed. And I know that we are all one. And I know that love always prevails. And so it is with great, great thanks that I release this word, my word, into the law of mind that always, always, always says, yes, my beloveds, where I know it is already done, and we may affirm it together by saying, and so it is. And now we've got some special music, and it's special.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Woo! Yeah! Now, that's our amazing, dynamic, magnificent trio. Sheila O'Kane on the bass, and Donna Orozco on the middle. And I don't know what those words are for music. I'm so inept. And Donna Williams, our wonderful lead vocalist. And our guys in the band who never fail. So, and you are all places where God lives and shows up. Don't ever forget that as you go through this week. And now it's time for our prosperity affirmation and sharing our gifts. This is the part I love because we can share our abundance. So if you want to join me in saying, you can take your gift, put it in your hands, bring it up to your heart, bless it in your own way. And let's just say our affirmation together. I give freely from the divine abundance that flows through my life. Oh, let's do it again. I give freely from the divine abundance that flows through my life. And so it is. And so I just received these gifts that are the pure love of spirit that have come through the divine abundance that moves in through and as every heart here, today, and forever and always. For that infinite prosperity and abundance is eternal. And I know these blessed gifts go forth to heal and prosper our community here in our center, to do good work in our greater community, and to do good work in the world. And so I give thanks. And so it is. And now it's time for the peace song. And so if you all want to get up, we go a circle around. If you feel like holding hands, you can. I want everyone to be comfortable in their own way of how they are connecting with each other. We got a whole big circle going on here today. Goodness gracious. Yes, it does. It begins with each and every one of us. And now, repeat after me. Get ready. This is our good time benediction. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. Wonderful is happening. It is this thing called life. Yes, it is. Life is in my body. Life is in my mind. Life is in the body of my affairs. Yes, it is. I think it. I feel it. And I love it. Just the way that it is. Oh, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. And have a great week, everybody.